everyone, welcome. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Akila. I'm a yoga teacher, and today I'm going to be taking you through part 5 of a mini series that I'm doing leading up to the new year. So I've put together a series of journaling prompts. If you missed the first installments of this series, I'll be putting a link right here to the initial video in the series so you can take a look at how I set up my journal and how I structure everything. You can feel free to take or leave whatever you'd like to in this journal structure, and you can feel free to take liberties to do it however you want to. But just as a baseline, if you've never journaled before and you wanted some inspiration, you can give that video a look and see what you'd like to take away from that. So today, before I provide you with your next series of 7 journal prompts, I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of community. So I was recently watching a documentary on Netflix, and it was talking about centenarians, which, if you don't know that word, it means people that are living into their hundreds. And it was talking a lot about how they are managing to live that long and what their lifestyle looks like and what their habits are like, and maybe taking a guess at what are the things that are keeping them so youthful into such an old age. One of the theories as to why these people are living so long is their sense of community and their actual interaction with other human beings face to face on a regular basis. So you've got all of your standard things that, people say, if you do this, you'll be healthier, you'll live longer, i.e. eat healthy, unprocessed foods, move a lot, walk or bike places instead of driving, take the stairs instead of the elevator, moving more in your general life. So these are kind of the more obvious reasons that people are healthier into their old age. But one of the things that really shocked me is that community was a massive part of why these people were living so long. They were interacting within their community, they were coming face to face with people on a regular basis, and they had a very solid core community, people that they spent time with a lot and people that they value having in their lives. And so, of course, my brain, the way it works, I started to really get into this idea of, is social media an illusion for human connection? And are we feeling like we're having sufficient human connection because we're consuming content on social media or interacting with people via social media, and we're not actually fulfilling that need for human connection in its entirety? So today, the journal prompts are going to be taking you a little bit outside of yourself, and they're going to take a look at the people around you, really dive into those relationships, which relationships are serving you, how can you better tap into those relationships, and are you avoiding those relationships? And I know that everybody falls on a spectrum of either introvertedness or extrovertedness, but I feel like even the people that are the most introverted do need some sort of human connection to an extent. So today we're going to be kind of diving into those prompts and figuring out where you fall on that spectrum, how introverted or extroverted you are, and how you can tap into those relationships with others, and how can you also bring value into other people's lives with the connections you have with others. So in the previous journal prompts that we focused on in the previous videos in this series, we focused a lot on self-reflection and who you are as a person and how you can improve yourself. But now we're going to see kind of how you can reciprocate that value with other people and how you can improve yourself so that you can bring something to the table for other people in your life that you care about and who you interact with. Because I think there's something to be said as well for this kindness that we should extend to other people just because they're human beings. And I see it more and more in my everyday life with people. We get so wrapped up in our own little bubble and we get wrapped up in our own world, and we forget to be really kind to others, or we forget to just extend common courtesies. I think it's really difficult to grasp what it means to connect with other people when we spend so much time on our phones and we spend so much time on technology. Because the reality is that often we create these connections online with other people, and yes, we are creating connections with other humans, but sometimes those connections are transactional, or really all it is a one-way connection, and you think that you're connecting with someone, but really you're just a consumer. I think in the age of influencers and in the age of people posting things online, I know the irony of me saying this as I'm posting this online, But sometimes these creators, they are so personable and so captivating online that we really mistake our interactions with them as relationships when really it is entertainment. And I've been finding this in myself. I often, when I feel lonely, I will watch movies, listen to podcasts, watch videos on YouTube to try and connect with other people, because it kind of creates the illusion that I'm connecting with someone while really not doing anything to satisfy my feeling of loneliness at all. So something I'm really trying to be diligent about is that when I get those feelings of loneliness, rather than taking to my phone to fill the void of that loneliness, I actually call somebody that's in my life that I know, that I miss, and I haven't spoken to in a while. Because really, at the end of the day, those are the relationships that are real, and those are the relationships that matter the most in your life. The people that you know and that you love and that you see on a regular basis or have been in your life for a long time. The other challenge that comes up is that when you get into the winter months, when things are a little bit colder and darker, it makes it really difficult to leave the comfort of your home and really go out and to forge those relationships with other people. But it is so important to make the time and to make the effort to get out of your house and interact with people, because it really does bring a different kind of energy to your life. And it was interesting because watching this documentary, I had never really put this much thought into this subject and thought about how much my relationship do in keeping me energetic and keeping me feeling youthful. But once I watched it and once I started to think about it, I really did start to see the value in it, and looked at the times in my life where I was surrounded by people that I cared about and surrounded by people who were vibrant and happy and brought so much to my life. And it really started to click and make sense for me. So today, all of our prompts are going to be kind of centered around that, because we've done a lot of self-reflection in the last 4 weeks. So today I really wanted to open it up and to draw your attention to the other people in your life, and maybe just see how you can take the things that you've implemented thus far and try and add value to other people's lives as well. So the first prompt that I have for you today is, who currently makes up your community? So this can be people that you work with. This can be people that you interact with if you're in school and they're your classmates. This can be people that you do your extracurricular activities with. Maybe you're in a book club. Maybe you go to a group fitness class. Maybe you have a hobby that has a club and there is a group of people that you connect with on a regular basis. Next prompt I have is, what are your feelings surrounding alone time? So do you enjoy being alone, or do you prefer to be surrounded by other people? Do you prefer to have other people in your space so that you don't have to leave the comfort of your own home? And how do you spend your alone time? Go into a little bit of detail. What do you do when you're alone? Do you try to do something that you find productive, or do you do something that you find enjoyable, or do you often find yourself bored? Do you end up scrolling on your phone? I know a lot of us do. I know I do often. So whatever it is that you do in your alone time, go into detail about that and just start to observe what the patterns are. Prompt number 3 I have is, how can you be a positive contributor to your community on a small scale? So this prompt is going to be really taking a look at the little things that you can do to make a positive impact on the people in your community. Maybe this is within a small circle of your friends that you're making an impact. These are the things that maybe go unnoticed by a lot of other people, but they're important to your core group of people and they're important to you. And then the next prompt I have along those same lines, but we're going to go on a bigger scale. So how can you be a positive contributor to your community on a large scale? So maybe this is not something you've done yet, but you'd maybe like to look at doing. Maybe you'd like to volunteer. Maybe you'd like to take on more of a leadership within one aspect of your community. Maybe it's that you want to apply yourself more at work so you can try to get to a higher position. Maybe it's a step towards taking time to organize something for your community so that you can all benefit from spending some more time together. Next prompt I have for you, this is going to be kind of targeted a little bit towards my introverted folks. So do you find being in social situations overwhelming to you, and why? So maybe you're a person that finds that you get overwhelmed in certain social situations, and then in other social situations you're fine. I know for me there's certain social situations where I don't feel very comfortable and others where I really, really enjoy myself. For me, it largely has to do with people that I'm surrounded with. So for me, if I'm surrounded by the right people, people that I enjoy being around, people that make me happy, make me laugh, it doesn't really matter what I'm doing as much as long as I am with people that are bringing value to my life. Some people kind of have a threshold of how many people that they feel comfortable around. So it might be once you hit a certain number of people, you start to feel less like yourself. So take a second to write about that and dive into it for yourself, where you fall on that scale. All right, next prompt I have for you is, what activities do you enjoy doing in a social setting? So there's some activities that you might prefer to do alone, and then there might be other activities that you enjoy doing in a group setting. So a lot of people find fitness is more accessible to them in a group setting, for example, rather than doing it alone. Whereas some people might prefer reading by themselves, while other people might prefer to be in a book club. So if you'd like to, with this prompt, you can even just make a list of the activities you like to do alone and the activities you like to do in a group. And then ask yourself, am I doing these activities frequently enough that I'm actually seeing a positive impact from doing them? All right, and this last prompt is a big one. Do you feel like social media provides a genuine connection to others? And what are the pros and cons of connecting to people in that way? So I know for me, I enjoy being online and connecting that way and social media for the fact that I can connect with people that are on the other side of the planet. I've expanded my horizons of who I can connect with using the power of the internet, and I think that's an amazing thing. However, like I said before, I often will turn to relationships that aren't actually real in order to fill a void of loneliness that I'm actually creating more of a problem. So take a moment to write about that, see where you fall on that scale as well. A lot of these are just a spectrum, and just trying to figure out where you fall on that spectrum of introvertedness and extrovertedness, and how much human connection you need to make you feel fulfilled, and how much human connection you need to bring value to your life. So that is all I have for you today. I have a feeling this one might be a little bit of a longer video, but this is a topic that I have been super intrigued by, and it's been taking up a lot of my brain space recently. So I definitely felt the need to say some of these things out loud and write about some of these things to kind of give myself a little bit more clarity on where I stand on the whole thing. Am I getting value from connecting to people online, or do I really just want to focus on my in-person interactions and try to add as much value to those as I can and really practice getting comfortable with being in social settings? I feel like with the way the world has been the last few years as well, it kind of completely reconfigured our idea of what it means to connect with people. And so I'm kind of in the process of retraining myself to feel comfortable with people in an in-person setting again. So if you enjoyed this video, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any more videos. I upload movement videos on Thursdays, and then I upload videos like this on Sundays. So please do stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos coming up. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.